Hi, welcome to Understanding Conscious Cryptids with me, Khat Hansen, your host. Hi everyone, it's me, Khat. Welcome to today's Understanding Conscious Cryptids. Today I'm going to be speaking about the existence of the stigma people. I'm going to kind of read from a paper that I had written on them, and from there I think I'll just kind of open it up to whatever happens, if that's okay. The title of this paper is Fae or What? And I know that most of you know that Fae are fairies, but for those of you who do not, that's what they are. So, with that, let's begin. The space around us is much more than empty space. The in-between spaces are the places where the Fae and other interdimensional beings are to be more easily experienced by humans. There exists a field of consciousness which permeates everything, including the seemingly empty space around us. There are many types of life which thrive in conditions in which we humans cannot survive. One example are the organisms that have evolved to live in the more hostile environments here on Earth. If you can grasp this reality, then it is no more than a handspan to grasp the reality of beings that live and exist alongside of us here on this planetary realm. You see, there are many dimensions that exist and have travelers as well as beings that thrive and live in them. Even if you cannot believe or accept this, it is no matter, as they know that they exist. You see, when I had told Key that humans just did not believe in his people, he became agitated and stated very firmly, "I hear, we hear." It got so bad with him that every time I came to visit the clan and stated, "Oh, I see you're still here," in amazement, he got angry and began to outspeak me by announcing, "We hear." You see, no matter how much you may wish to deny them existence, they exist. Humans are very prideful. We imagine that there is nothing greater on this planet than us. In reality, there were several societies that predated us. The stigma are the last race of such people. They tell their history this way. Long before the first humans began their own society, the sandpeople had already been here for thousands of years. They had watched the earth go through several stages and changes. You see, they had a very interesting form of technology. They had found ways to use the quartz crystals that cover the earth. By running water over them, they found that some sort of current was derived. By placing them over the ley lines that crisscrossed the world, they discovered they had created a harmonic resonator. By utilizing it, they were able to open doorways, portals. These in turn opened into different dimensions and onto other realms far, far away. Many decided to utilize these and began transferring themselves to other dimensions. Such was the exodus that many of the elders had to speak out and order them to stop. Many of the doorways began to be closed after this fact due to the creator of this world regulating which doorways could be used and when they could be used. At this point, there was a pretty good sized exodus from our realm to places from beyond the sun. As the period of time began to lengthen between the trips, the understanding of how the portals worked became hidden among the medicine people of their society. It did not take long for almost all remembrance of this to be forgotten. They only retained a basic knowledge as to how to become invisible and how to recharge themselves. They do this by prostrating themselves with their legs folded underneath and their foreheads touching the ground where the ley lines crossed. Once they found that they could do this. They lie like this for 30 minutes to 2 hours, depending on the energy from the lay that they are using to recharge. Maybe a gland that they're recharging, I'm just not sure. When done, they only have to find the lay and touch it, and they become invisible. This is the greatest achievement according to them. This ability allowed them to walk among their enemies without being seen, and gave them an even greater advantage over their prey. While the ancients, aka medicine people, kept the knowledge of portal timing secreted away, every now and then a ship from beyond the sun would come back here to make contact and to drop off healers and teachers. But eventually they became fewer and fewer. At the beginning of the 18th century, communication was once again re-established, and the teachers began to come here in earnest, trying to relocate any and all of their earthbound brothers, and to help them regain their forgotten history and an understanding of their place in the cosmos. Now, I want to stop there because I know that there are a few of you out there going, what in the world is she talking about beyond the sun? Well, I'm sure that most of you have heard that the stigma, people interact with them, and it seems as if there are 2, maybe 3 different types that people are actually interacting with. The ones that come from beyond the sun are the ones that are very intelligent. They they speak perfect English. They're very scientific. These guys are the ones who escaped this planet, this realm. And the Native Americans here have that title for them. We call them the ones from beyond the sun. Then you have the earthbound ones, which a lot of people deal with. They're the terrestrial form of these guys that never left. They don't take the portals except to go to their realm, which is right beside us, which is where they go to nest and go home to have their babies. These guys, for the most part, are very intelligent, but they don't have the technical capabilities that the ones from beyond the sun have. That's not to say that they cannot learn them. They can. It's just that they have not had anyone to teach them. So that is what the healers and the medicine people and the teachers are doing when they're being dropped off here. They are coming here to interact with them and to impart knowledge to the ones that are able to retain it, and then to let them teach in turn and pass it down. So that way they can become just like their brothers, their ancestors from beyond the sun. Then you have the ones that come here to mine. These guys are kind of interesting. I've spoken only very vaguely of them, because to understand them is to understand another type of being, and that is the ant people. These guys, you can call them ant people, you can call them grays. Either way, it fits them perfectly. These guys have made a contract with a certain bloodline of the stigma that were earthbound here, and they use them literally for workers. They use them to mine underground, so that way they can pull up whatever forms of material are needed to help these gray beings and to finish a debt. And yeah, I know that sounds very strange, but it's the truth. These guys have made some form of contract in their genetic lineage to the gray aliens, and the gray aliens bring them here, have them mine. These guys are very able to be distinguished by collars that they wear. And there are several reports out there of people bumping into these stayama with these collars on, and they seem to be under the direction or guidance of some form of alien technology. And this is true. That's what they're doing here. They are using them because the stayama are big and heavy and able to be utilized in mining. These guys don't interact with humans very much. Once in a while people come across them in the wilderness, and usually when they do come across them in the wilderness, they will be in cohorts with the gray aliens. And when I say gray aliens, I'm talking about the ones that are the two types. The very small ones, and then the other drone workers that are above them that seem to be the ones who, I almost want to call them taskmasters. These guys make them do what they need them to do. And there have been reports of the stayama that wear the collars running away from them, trying to get away from them, and then some form of chase ensues, and they are brought back. And they are brought back and controlled, I guess you want to say, with a specific type of stick or wand type apparatus that emits a beam of light. Not unlike what people say when they are abducted. So I do not interact with these type, so I do not know very much more than that. I have a friend who does interact with them, and he used to tell me all kinds of things about them and the soul debt that they owed these particular gray aliens. And I know that sounds so strange, but it really isn't, because when you think about it, in the scheme of things, everybody's kind of interacting and doing it the old-fashioned way of you wash my back, I'll wash yours. So for whatever reason, the Greys are utilizing them for this purpose. Now, that being said, do the ones from beyond the sun like this, or are they understanding? I don't believe they are. I think they wish to terminate this relationship as soon as possible, and that's why they're back re-educating and trying to bring the rest of them up to their level, so to speak. And then that way, once they have recovered their genetic memories, they will be able to somehow, some way stop these karmic debts that are owed to these particular beings. I know that sounds so Star Warsy, but that's the easiest way for me to explain it. These guys are not friendly, and they strictly have like an employer-employee type of relationship, almost like a loan shark, with a person, because these guys obviously have some sort of karmic debt that they are having to repay these gray aliens. And that being said, we'll go on to the next section here that I want to talk about, and that's the fact that when I say gray aliens, they are not in fact gray aliens. They are deceiving people as to what exactly they are. There are a couple different species of these guys. They are interdimensionals, aka archons. And if you've ever done any studying of the Gnostic writings, you're going to know immediately of whom I'm speaking, because there were two types of these beings. One was very reptilian looking, and the other type are almost resembling a human fetus, which pretty much describes a gray alien with the wrinkly skin and the big eyes and the big head. You know, at some point they look like a human fetus. And then I always found it very interesting to understand that the reptilian form of these guys that was created is a big reptilian looking being, like what we call reptilians, and the fact that they're 10 to 12 feet tall, 600 plus pounds, scaly skin, eyes, the whole 9 yards. So obviously these guys were created beings. They're not aliens in the sense that they like to portray themselves to be, because they are not. They are created, and they are no more alien, I should say, than we are in the cosmos, because this whole cosmos was created for us and all the other beings that are out here. That's why I have such an issue with people who always talk about alien abductions and alien encounters. It's only alien because you don't know who they are. Just like we have illegal aliens here in the United States and other countries. It's because you don't know these people. These people weren't invited. So these people, these beings, have their own home dimension that they should be at and should stay at. But they're fascinated with us humans and the fact that we are co-creators. That we are able to manifest our own realities and our own destinies because we are co-creators with Heavenly Father. So these guys apparently do not have that ability. It was something that was not given to them. And apparently when Heavenly Father gave it to us, we were the last ones that He gave it to. So there were beings before us that it was given to, and then us, and then no more. So these reptilian type beings from other dimensions around us do not have the ability to co-create and do not have the ability to carry the piece of genetic material within themselves because it was not given them. It says in the Bible that we are created in Heavenly Father's own image. Take that for what it is. He installed a little spark in all of us to create us. And these guys did not get that. One, because when He created them, He just did not pass that along to them. And two, some of the other stories say that it wasn't just Him creating them, it was Gaia herself, as she is the intelligence of this planet and is able to create other beings that she wants here and on this planet. And there's a whole other ball of wax right there. If she wants them here on this planet, ultimately it is her realm. So therefore, should we have to tolerate them? I do believe so. Because as I said, it's her realm and she designed it and she created these beings. So there again, we bump into what we bump into with the stigma. Do they exist? Well, of course they exist. But for us as people to understand their existence, we need to be accepting of other races, other cultures, other realities. And quite frankly, human beings just haven't really been that well educated to do it. So I think that's where we fall down. And we need to pick ourselves up and realize that there are many beings that exist alongside of us and here on this planet with us that are here to learn and to experience and to share. And once this is realized, then we know that we will be able to move on and move forward and exist in harmony and brotherhood instead of as a master type race, because that's not what's needed right now. We're not needed to master anything. We pretty much mastered this planet to survive on, but we have not mastered the ability to get along with this planet and the other inhabitants that thrive on it. So for that, I'm going to say that's going to be the lesson for today. If you have any questions, let me know. If you need to speak to me, please send emails to understandingconsciouscryptids@gmail.com. I am going to change that since my email got hacked, and ask everyone to please send questions or comments there. If you like what I am doing with this lesson series, please let me know. Give me a like or a thumbs up, and if you have any desire to have input into the lesson plans, please feel free to visit my Patreon page and let me know. And I will say thank you, and I hope you all have a wonderful day, weekend, and I will see you next time.